Fears don't go away on their own, Win. You have to go to war with them. Cellphone is currently streaming on Hulu. It was directed by Luke Summer and written by Rachel Summer. That's right, it's from Two Summers. Set in a desolate farmhouse, it's by Two Summers. And Win is left on her own after Liam, her fiancé, ends up dead after a crash. It's from Two Summers. And the review now rolls on from these 2 summers. Yes, sorry, I had to have a little bit of fun there. They have done some short films in the past. You can check out the respective IMDb pages for the full listen to their work. And yes, Win is played by Whitney Rose Penn, who basically is trying to get over the loss of her fiancé, Liam, who's not Irish, I do want to say. If the actor is Irish, then, well, he did a good job hiding his accent. Nevertheless, so yeah, after Liam died, she goes to this farmhouse for some goddamn reason to unwind, to get over her grief, possibly because this is the only location they could afford. In case you can't tell, I'm probably not going to be very nice about Cellphone. And so the owner of the house, or the guy that at least gives her the house, or gets her the house, or the only guy that would return their calls, is played by Malcolm McDowell, who literally phones in his role. I'm not kidding. He has a few phone conversations and doesn't really go anywhere. And then it also turns out this house has a dark past. A dark past that can interfere with your cell phones, make you see things, and make you do things. Oh no, not things! We see that happen in the beginning of the movie. And then Win must solve this mystery before she is totally history. Cellphone tales, woohoo! So, yeah, this is pretty much bargain basement horror suspense schlock with a neat little idea of overcoming grief. I will say that. That is a fine theme for a horror movie. Overcoming grief, it manifesting in strange ways, and you having to move past that shit. And sure, the movie might have been able to tell that story properly, if the movie had a story. It didn't. It just had a bunch of images that happened. It took a few things, Human Centipede them together, and then basically ripped those apart, and all you had left was the shit from the Human Centipede. Look, I'm trying to be nicer in my reviews, but when a movie is this egregiously awful, this apocalyptically awful of an abomination, I have to say something. This is rock goddamn stupid, featuring stupid goddamn characters, conversations that don't seem to be taking place between any actual humans, and you can tell the actors are trying. I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do, but they're certainly trying. But Justin Malik Jackson, who I am for real, is played by Chris, or he plays Chris, that is. And there we are. We basically have those 2 actors, and then we have a twist that doesn't really go anywhere. And actually, quite frankly, now that I think about it, really not much of a twist. This movie tries to be an allegory for dealing with grief. And the only thing this movie manages to deal with is giving you more grief, heaping more grief upon you, like the grief that you feel. Investing your time watching a film like this. Look, there could be talent in the minds of Luke and Rachel, and I wish them nothing but the best, but this movie is terrible. Absolutely terrible. And apparently, based on the IMDb pages, was based on a short film. So, okay, that's fine. That's where it should have stayed, because whatever this is supposed to be, this wasn't it, Chief. Again, like the germ of the idea of dealing with grief and it manifesting in horrifying ways could have worked if anybody knew what the fuck they were doing here. But it's just, what was Malcolm McDowell doing in this? Why was Chris acting so goddamn weird and acting like he was acting on a stage? Why did Win not understand how to emotionally, act like she had ever experienced anything in her life? And I'm just referring to the character. The actors, I think, were trying. They were certainly trying. But Cellphone is bad. It is really goddamn bad. And it tries to throw a few things together, and none of it works. Even if you just tried to take one thing and tried to stretch it out, it wouldn't have. So yeah, let's just throw every idea in. And then it fails miserably. It's on Hulu if you want to check it out. If you have a subscription, maybe you'll feel differently. I hate it, though. I really hate it. I'm sorry. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, yeah. It turns out that Wynn blames herself because she was driving, Liam died, and now that grief has manifested. Chris has been coming to this house for years. He's at the barn, singing, is trying to get some copper wiring, spouts a bunch of expositional nonsense, teaches her how to use an old musket that he found. They have this running gag where he, knocks or announces himself coming in, but oh no, you can't do that. You have to tell me when you're coming. And yeah, again, the grief aspect could have worked if anybody knew what the fuck they were doing. Anybody knew how to play this goddamn thing out. Neither of them act like normal people. It's actually astonishing. We are like halfway through this goddamn movie, and the only thing that's happened is in the very beginning, there was a guy named Brian that ended up apparently killing his girlfriend and then killing himself and leaving the dogs in the enclosed pool area, and the side barn doors left open. So, yeah, we get ghostly images, and just stuff happening. Why is this happening? I mean, there could be some hidden meaning behind this ghost, but nope, it just appears to be a specter that just wants to take people's grief and put it back against them. She's still grieving. He's with her always, except he's not. She has to learn to let go. She can't drive. There's an old tape recording of a guy saying, you know, you're living in the present and the future and all this and spouty nonsense and loud noises. You honestly could just like take a nap through half this movie and not miss shit, because there's no good story to this. And yeah, then Malcolm McDowell completely disappears from this movie. Apparently, I guess he's like, okay, I did what I had to do. I'm done. And Liam, basically before leaving, says, there's joy after this, I promise, but you need to fight. And Chris arrives. This is right after, basically, her cell phone is showing her these videos, like, of what could happen. She could end up dead in this truck. Chris could end up dead because everybody around her dies because she killed Liam and the grief just has overtaken her. And then the specter arrives and says, I'm you, and I'm using your fears, basically, to come to life, and then I'm going to live as you. Okay. Whatever. Sure. Why not? And yeah, they do the twin magic trick. And there was an earlier thing about Malcolm McDowell saying, hey, by the way, the power goes out. Occasionally I'll teach you how to use a generator. And so Wynn gets the musket, tries to use the goddamn musket, doesn't, almost gets killed, uses an old rotary phone, wall phone that they used to have back then, kids, and hits the clone over the head, runs, and this clone evil manifestation thing says that, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you. Oh, you're not here? You ran across the street. Because there was an earlier thing where Wynn ran, trying to run away, and almost got hit by a car, even though she was nowhere near the road. And then evil Wynn gets hit, and then this explosion of light, like it was an alien or something, been done. And because Wynn killed her, took care of her fear, killed the fear dead. And then there's the story of a tall tree that burned down and gave birth to new life. Did I miss something? Was there actually some hidden meaning here? Because for whatever this movie was trying to accomplish, it certainly didn't work for me. Sorry, this is terrible. F gets an F. Absolute abomination. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.